I know. I
That's
just
fine.
ordered a new
That's fine.
computer too. I'm very excited. It's an
New
exciting
goal.
development in a young boy's adult life. Is getting a new
Yeah.
PC.
It never changes up. It doesn't have the same bragging rights. PCs, at least every time you get a new computer, you have different types of like things that you're excited about. It's like getting a new phone. You're like, damn it, I have to get a new phone. But then when you get a new phone, you're like, sweet, I love this new phone. Except my
Yeah.
last phone, which I was the least excited I've been to get a new phone because Google failed me. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll figure out this audio visual thing. You know, we're still new to podcasting, so I figure by episode
Yeah.
50 is a good goal to be able to
By
open
episode
up and
50,
just
we're going to get
right
on.
out
It's
of the
going to be so
gates.
smooth. Hey, at least we got the
Uh-huh.
matching tops going. We said, hey, back from vacation, back from a trip to Denver. Everybody's listened to our episode 25, favorite things of the 90s. How do we start new? What's
Yeah,
our thing? Matching tops.
we just go into blue shirts. Blue shirts is
Yep.
a big thing for guys in their 40s. Blue shirts. Look, God,
Yeah, it is.
it's so
Who are
important
we?
to stay hip. I know. We've never been caught wearing the same or similar blue shirt. The problem is the people who are listening are like, oh, wow, that's funny. They're wearing the same shirt. But if you are watching this, you're like,
That's true.
I mean, yeah, they're both blue and have collars, but that's about where the similarities end.
Mine has koi fish. And you know
But
what?
you're,
Special treat for the viewers. Ready? This is here's a little behind the curtain. It's just
um,
it's just it's just black running shorts and slippers. That's all. That's
wow,
all. Guess
that's
what?
impressive.
I'm not dressed to go out. I'm dressed to do a
Mm-hmm.
podcast. And that's about that.
Well, good thing we have a podcast to do. So,
I've confused my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. Age of convenience. My daddy worked hard for this.
I was doing like feels like you're running at an incredible pace.
mm, we're not even
I was
5
kind
minutes
of
into the pod, and you're already annoying me.
completely unrelated. I think I was listening to a podcast. I saw a clip on something of some other podcast where people were talking about Jim Carrey's like best movies, and I'm pretty sure Gen Z, the next gen, has not even seen Dumb and Dumber, and there's people that don't even put it in was one of his top movies, and that's really a bummer to hear that.
So, yeah, how old was this person?
Well, I think they were talking to somebody in Gen Z who hadn't seen it, but one of the interviews, it might have been even on a sports show, you know, because in the summer they don't have shit to talk about, kind of thing. Um, and so one of each, you know, someone in our generation, someone Gen Z, but the one in our generation was kind of being a dick about it too. I'll say it. Not into it. But he said it wasn't even good. He said it wasn't funny. I'm like, there's like no better jokes. That's some of the best jokes and relivable
Like,
jokes. He said, well, he said Ace
it's
Ventura
not.
was better.
No, see, now that's weird. Because it's like, if you're going to give the green light to Ace Ventura, I feel like, how do you then not like Dumb and Dumber? It's literally the same calendar year and it's the
That's
same
right.
type of humor. So how do like that doesn't make sense. If he was like if he went rogue and was like, obviously it's the Majestic, the number 23 or whatever it is.
They
Like
were
it
all
just
in on the
started
Truman Show.
Eternal Sunshine. Truman Show's very good. It's
Solid,
just
good movie.
yeah, it's a very good movie, but when someone says a Jim Carrey movie, I don't think of the Truman Show. Um, it's the answer is Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, The Mask, uh, and then I'll go Liar Liar and Bruce
Liar Liar's
Almighty.
like a good, like that's a kind of catches a lot of people that in that one. I think
Liar
a lot
Liar.
of demographic.
Jim
A
Carrey
lot of
is
demographic.
if this is the SATs, Jim Carrey is to Liar Liar as Adam Sandler is to Big Daddy.
Perfect.
Like it's like started with their style and then went like, I'm gonna make it a little bit more wholesome but
Yeah, a
still
little
be me and stuff. And then
mainstream.
everyone goes like, yes, you nailed it. It's the broader scope, broader spectrum.
You just got to tell Grandma to cover her ears when he goes, "Your boobs are huge." That part's fun.
It is.
So,
It really
hey,
is.
let's catch up. I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever.
It's been a hot
Tell
minute.
me
So
all
yes,
about your week and how you feel about it. Is
yeah.
that we do?
Is that how that's how normal people catch up? Be like,
Yeah.
oh hey, so you went on a
Yeah.
little trip recently, huh? Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
sit
Went
here
to
and pretend to
Denver.
listen. Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you just random bits and pieces because who cares about the normal stuff? So I fly into Denver International. A couple buddies that I was meeting there got in a little bit early. They were about 4 beers deep when I got to the airport. Mind you, folks, I
Oh, they
got
were
to
drinking
the
airport
airport.
drinking upon
Oh yeah,
arrival.
I got to the airport at 12 noon. And and two of
Nice.
the guys had gotten there earlier and were 4 beers deep when I met up. So when the fourth out of the five guys got there, um, we decided, I'm like, all right, so four of us are here. The next one's not coming for another 5 hours, so we're gonna go get the rental car. So Denver's one of those airports that are huge, and you have to like take a bus to go get your rental car.
Oh.
Bus trip of a good 15-20 minutes to go get your rental car. So we get to the rental place. I wait in line. I go up to the counter, and they're like, "What's the last name?" Warden. Hmm. Do you have your confirmation number?
Oh,
And it's
that's
the
the follow-up
last
question
thing.
you don't want to hear.
Yes. The second question you never want to hear is, do you have your confirmation number? Especially if they've already typed. If they ask
Yeah.
your name and confirmation number, that's different. But if they go name and then confirmation number,
Oh
so I
no.
give it to them. In fact, I actually show her. I pull it up on my phone.
Yeah.
Pull it up on my phone, and I show her, and she goes, "That's not for this enterprise." And I'm like, ah. So I booked it at a local Denver
Oh
location,
no.
not Denver International.
Was it all
So
like in
I don't
together on like the Expedia or wherever you were making it? Like was
know.
it
So
Oh.
for anyone in tune, local to local would be, you'd be able to just move the reservation easy peasy. And airports don't work that way. They are run differently at a different network. Because why? Because airports know they can gouge you, so their prices are a lot different. So they don't do the local. So she's like, and I'm like, so do you guys have a car you can rent? It looks like there's 50 out there. And she's like, no. Okay. So she's like,
Oh no.
then as if I'm not a fucking 40-year-old adult, she goes like, well, you could take an Uber to that enterprise. I'm like, yeah, I know that's an option. Like, that's kind of
I'll
condescending.
do the
I'm not,
troubleshooting from this end.
yeah, I'm not like the 75-year-old person who's not in tune with that rideshare exists. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well,
yes,
I
thank
guess I
you. I
better just
can
hop
do
on a
that.
plane and go home.
So I tell the guys that I'm with, which is, this is the worst part, because I'm like, if this was me by myself, I'd probably be upset. But I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I have to tell other people, like, hey, like, it's like that, guys, don't worry, we need a rental car, but Jeff took care of it. Yeah, he
Yeah.
certainly did. So we go, and she's like, you can go wait in the visitors parking lot, which is, she points off to the right, and she goes down that way. I'm like, okay. So we call and get an Uber from Matt. Now, nothing better than my buddy having to book an Uber. It's like, where are you? Enterprise. Where are you going? And you have to find another Enterprise. Uber's like, sorry, dum dum, you entered the same thing twice. So he orders the Uber, and then we walk out of the parking lot, and then like this alleged lot we're supposed to go into, like it has like barbed wire and stuff in it. So we never actually get to this guest parking lot that she pointed us to. So our Uber picks us up outside of Enterprise, takes us to the other Enterprise. So we got our rental, our big massive Nissan Armada, which was very fun to drive.
I don't even know what
But yeah,
that is.
that
Like a
was,
big SUV deal.
yeah, it's just like a 7-seater SUV. So that was pretty cool. Denver's a really fun area. It is a city that is ransacked with scooters. for those of us that may live or have visited large cities, how
Like the
Uber,
Lime or the
Lyft,
Bird.
Lime,
Oh yeah,
Bird,
yeah,
all of
yeah.
them have like the little electric scooters that you scoot around. And the best part is like we went out to get breakfast one time, 4 of us, and an Uber was going to cost $9.50 to the place we were going, and we could have gotten there like in like 5 minutes. But we all opted to take our own scooters, pay like 2.5 times the amount just to scoot ourselves and
Just to
go there
do it.
slower. But you get to go wee and just scoot.
And I'm pretty
So
sure on those, you agree that you're wearing your own helmet when you take those. Like there's like some kind of agreement that's like you say yes to that nobody reads. That's like you're like responsible for wearing your own helmet.
right,
It's like
take
how
this.
you bring.
I
Yeah,
want to say when you sign up for an app, they even make you take like a safety course.
yeah.
Like that, you're like next. Yes, I'm ready. But you're gonna love this one. So after the first night, I convince everyone. I'm like, let's go for a hike. I'm like, tomorrow we have nothing going on. The game is not for another day. Let's go for a hike. I got a good recommendation from a friend from Auburn, Corey F. Thank you for your vast recommendations. And so we went to Chautauqua Park outside of Boulder, Colorado, about a 35-minute
California,
drive.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm. John Denver was not full of shit. The Rockies really were rocky. The Rocky Mountains were rocky. But so they all agree. I'm like, we're going to leave at 8 a.m. So it's like 7:40 a.m. the next morning. I can't believe I have to tell this. I go because I brought my Hey Dudes. I love my Hey Dudes, but those aren't appropriate for hiking. So I go pull out my sneakers that I brought as well.
Is this going where I think it's going?
I brought because I brought sneakers.
Okay.
However, I pull them out. They are two different shoes. One is a running shoe. One is a sneaker, and they're both lefts. I brought two.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
So we've already told a story years ago of where Jeff didn't know how to pack shoes at all. So now I'm halfway there when I did pack sneakers, but I packed two left sneakers. And instantly I thought of this podcast. I'm like, what is my problem? I'm like, I can't pack footwear properly. So the guys have a good laugh. And I'm like, all right, don't freak out. I'm just going to find a Target. So I did find a Target. We stopped at a Target on the way there, and I got some sweet shoes that were just called Sport. Like that's all they say is Sport.
Like the most generic.
They are gray
$30.
and they say Sport.
Yeah.
No, generic $20 sneakers. They actually were great though. They were very comfortable. So thank you Target and thank you Sport. But yeah, man, you definitely feel like no matter how well you think you've been doing, once you hit that altitude, you like the first part of the hike was like in like 85 degrees and sunny, and you start walking up the incline. I'm like, oh, breathing is a little bit harder up here, like getting and going and stuff. So yeah, but pretty rad sights, stuff like that. So that was fun. The hike. We were basically held hostage at a steak house that we went to at night because it took us 2.5 hours to eat there. They were at like 20% capacity, so they can't blame being busy. 6.
I mean,
took 2.5 hours.
That's probably a pretty average party at a steakhouse, I'll say.
Yeah.
Right?
But mind you, it was also at best at 20% capacity. So like it was just dragging ass, and I am an antsy, but like I do not, there is literally never going to be a day where I want to spend 2.5 hours at a table eating dinner.
Oh, there must have been so much leg shaking there.
Oh my God. It was awful, but I wasn't the first one to leave the table. 2 guys got up and they're like, let us know when he comes back with the bell. Yeah. Because like they just wanted to go outside. No one needed to smoke or anything. It was just, I need to walk outside. So,
were you guys like having drinks and stuff too? It didn't even soothe you enough. It was like that. I mean, that's a long time. It's pretty ridiculous.
2.5 hours is just too long.
Did the server have the balls to say, anybody make room for dessert? If you want to stick around another hour?
I don't think he mentioned
a double
it.
feature.
He might have picked up on the vibe. Um, so it was a mediocre experience. That's usually why I don't go to fancy dinners. A, I'm not fancy. B, I don't, I like steak, but I don't really put steak on any sort of pedestal, and it just takes too long.
Why does it feel
But
like?
we did.
Doesn't that steak feel like the thing that guys sometimes just default to? Like they have to. If there's like five or more guys, all of a sudden it has to be a steakhouse for some reason. It can't be like let's go get like $3 tacos or something. It's like
Yeah,
we gotta get steaks,
that's
dude.
definitely. Well, we have one of our friends is much. He lives a different life than the rest of us. Like
All
that's
right.
another thing that when you get to 40, people can live very drastically different lives. And for the last X amount of years, like since college, so like over 15 years of living a different life, he is a very successful person, one of the hardest working guys I've ever met. But that's put him to a level of success in the business world that I don't understand.
Yeah.
So like paying, if he goes to a, he's told me he's worked like corporate dinners that are, where the bill has been, thousands of dollars. And it's just like, I don't know that life. So he might be more used to it than we were. Um, but anyway, the important part is we bounced back with being very childish. So nothing like going from the steakhouse to a bar called One Up, where they just it's a big arcade bar. I love finding
Yes.
those in cities. So yeah, got to play some Ninja Turtles, got to play some Mario Kart, got to play some pinball machines, of course. So yeah, that was cool. Terminator.
What's their
So yeah,
format? Do
so
they do pay each game like quarters in, or do you get the card, or is it just play as much
it
once you
was
get in there?
it was weird. They had tokens that were the size of quarters. So the machines would take tokens or quarters.
Right.
So like they didn't have a quarter change machine. They had a token change machine, like token dispensary. Or you could buy a $20 worth of tokens at the bar. So it was a smaller one, not as good as the one I've been to in Cincinnati. That one was pretty rad. Um, and trying to think. The day of the game, we did get to go to Red Rocks. That was really cool.
Ooh, like for a show
Yeah,
or just tour it?
no, just to tour it because it's open to the public as kind of like just
Yeah,
a thing to see. So that's pretty
I've
cool
never
that you
seen
can
it.
go there during the day. But wow, what an awesome venue! Like a 10,000 seater bleacher system built into the side of a mountain and with a view that's very, very far, like 15, 20 miles. You can see out from like the top row of Red Rocks. Yeah, it's pretty absurd. And then we wrapped up the night by watching the Yankees lose miserably to the worst team in the National League. So that was a
Dude,
really
that's their
fun
vibe.
1,300-mile trip to watch my team lose to
Oh yeah.
the worst team in the league. So that's
What was
cool.
the game? I mean, was it exciting at all? Was it
The,
even?
the problem was is it was a filthy, filthy lie. So the Yankees, of course, being the away team, got up first, and they got a single. And then Giancarlo Stanton came up and blasted a home run. So there is no outs in the game. Yankees are up 2-0. It's going to be a murder. They're
There
coming
we
back
go.
guns
Keep
a-blazing
the
from the
drinks
All-Star
coming.
game.
Yeah, let's go.
Nope, they didn't score again. They lost 6-2.
Oh
And
God.
and on top of it, there was an old man who became my best friend, aka everyone knew that I was getting bothered by him. It's an old man who was just sitting there wearing all Red Sox stuff and never cheered for Colorado. It was just if Colorado did anything, he'd turn around to Yankee fans and be like, "Oh, what happened? Oh, what's the matter? What
Oh
happened?"
my
And I'm just like,
God.
I hate that stuff. I do. I act like I try to act like I
What a
try to not
troll.
let it bother me. But literally, that's what makes me want to strike someone. Is like I'm like I just want to punch this old man right in the freaking mouth hole. Like it's just annoying. Yeah, it's a troll job. It is. If I called him a troll,
It's
he
kind of
wouldn't
yeah.
understand. He would like, but like it's internet trolling. That's what it's there for. And it's just like, and of course it's a Yankees away game. Like there was Yankee fans sitting in front of us. There was Yankee fans sitting behind us. Like there was probably more Yankee fans than Rockies fans in the section we were in. But
It's
just
kind of the
him.
perfect troll because if the Yankees win, he's still like, I don't care. It's not the Red Sox. Like you can't
Yep.
like. There's
Yeah,
nothing you
he's
can
in that
say to him at
win-win
all. Like
situation.
yeah, yeah. Which yeah, again,
Yeah.
internet troll.
So
But
so I don't know. Yeah, he was just a clown, but Yankees lost, and then came back Saturday. So it's a good
Did you
trip.
acquire a mini bat?
Not yet. I stopped getting those at the stadiums because mine got confiscated when I tried flying home with it
Oh
from
yeah.
Minnesota, and that really, 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 really bothered me. So I don't try anymore. But I try. I looked online, and MLB.com somehow is out of them right now. They are sold out of mini bats. I'm like, the Colorado Rockies are out of mini bats. I'm like, they're terrible. Why would they be out? So now I gotta I gotta wait on that to add to my bat collection.
What was the stadium like? How'd you review it out of 10?
Top five, top five
Really?
for top five out of the 18. So
All
it's
right.
always tough to say because I've been to 18 ballparks, but that was my 17th team I've seen at home because I went to both Yankee stadiums. So 17th, we'll call it ballpark. Um, Definitely a top five. Fantastic, really clean, and for being, the Rockies came in 1994, so it was just about 30 years old stadium. Still looks really, really good. I don't know if they just keep it clean or if they've updated, but I mean, it's a great looking stadium. The setup from the stands is really cool. Lots of interesting personalized stuff, like their right field and outfield seats are pretty weird. They have these like staggered stands that go up. They have some of the really large stands by the scoreboard. I don't know if we just lost Matt. We may have. Um, but yeah, I would call it probably, I haven't thought about it, but I'll give it a strong top five
Nice,
in the
nice.
stands. So, oh, you're back.
I'm still here. Maybe
Oh,
having
okay. I
internet
can't see
issues,
you.
as
Yeah, I
we're
can't
wont
see
to do.
you,
Yeah. Oh,
but I
okay. I'm
can hear
sure I'll
you.
come back. I think it's just
Maybe.
an internet issue. Yeah, I've been to um, Denver once on the Fair City Fire road trip. We went to Denver, and I think we were there for about a day and a half, driving through Colorado, just long enough to buy
Hmm.
some weed gummies, really. But it was kind of cool to be in like a city where I mean, you really can see the Rockies. It's insane. Like if you look around the city, all it is like gigantic mountains around, and you're like, wow, this is otherworldly. This is very cool. I always thought
It
it'd be
is.
a good place to settle at some point. Maybe a balance of a little bit of winter and the nature, and you got connections to amenities. I have a buddy there. One of my good friends lives near Colorado Springs, but you get like shows coming through there. You got sports, you got outdoor stuff. Um, yeah, I could raise a little pack of kids there, a little pack of mats. Train them all to be a little hockey team. Like, yeah, yeah, playing my life. Well, that's cool. I'd like a visit
Yeah.
out there. Never been to the Pacific Northwest either. Would like to go out there. It seems like I would say like when I went out when I was doing that travel for work back in the day, it really kind of hit me how much of the United States is visitable and worth visiting, and how like different states or cities can be like different little countries. And I feel like people don't really take advantage of that, like really going around into the U.S. and seeing different parts. You know?
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird. Because some people I think don't visit, like it's almost like they've visited more countries than they visited
Yeah,
states. So
yeah.
that one's kind of interesting too. But I mean, granted, there's obviously much larger cultural differences. So maybe that's the appeal. But you're right. I certainly think that a lot of people have probably traveled enough in our own country, um, which is an
Where in the
interesting
United States
concept.
have you not? Where in the United States have you not been that you would want to go next?
Ooh,
Like, not necessarily like just where would you want to go? Not like if it
sure.
fits your plans or whatever. But
Um, that's tough. I would say, I mean, probably just because of what it is probably California. I probably, Southern California does have an appeal. I would like to know what that's like. I hear mixed things about Seattle. I hear a lot of great, like people either love it or really dislike it. There's really not a lot of middle ground. People don't mess Seattle, so I'm not really sure what to interpret. And then Alaska literally doesn't even seem like the U.S. I think that's kind of Alaska and Hawaii both seem just too like. Let's be honest, we were just looking to round out at 50 by
Yeah,
making those states. I mean, they became states the same summer. It's not. We didn't really think it through. One's comically far away and is a teeny island, a set of islands, and the other one
yeah,
is larger than half the continental U.S. and isn't even connected to us. So it's like they were reaches probably just to become 50. And Puerto Rico's
sure.
like, hey. And we're like, well, dude, we can't do 51. We're at
That's
50. Hey,
literally
listen,
why. That's
hey, Puerto
literally why.
Rico. Hey, Puerto Rico, good news. If someone drops out, like, you
Yeah,
will
yeah.
be the first person we call. Like, Puerto Rico's the guy waiting for, like, to join the poker league. He's just like, oh, come on. You guys said
Mhm.
that you'd have a seat for me. We're like, oh, dude, you're cool. It's nothing about that. Like, we'll even let you watch. Like, that's our version of, like, what we're doing in
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. Yeah. So,
I've always
Alaska and
wanted to
Hawaii
see.
definitely would be cool, but it is what it is.
Um, I think well, Seattle, but Washington would be cool. I've always wanted to see like a redwood tree in person. I never have, or a sequoia, one of those. I want to be wowed by an old tree. That's basically it. Because I get
It
wowed
is
by
it
just
is
regular trees
terrifying.
that are big.
It's
Yeah,
terrifying to see like photos of people standing next to them and you're like, the biggest tree I've ever stood in front of, like I would be like, it'd be like 4 Jeffs wide. And you're telling me there's trees out there that are like 10 Jeffs wide or 12 Jeffs wide? What do you mean there's trees that they burrow through so that cars can drive through them and they can pave a road through it? I'm like, that doesn't make sense. It's a tree, not a boulder.
yeah, I want to see that for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, when I went through Arizona one time, just seeing the cactus that were huge was pretty awesome. I was like, shit, this
Yeah.
is like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon. Roadrunner right here, right?
It's
This is real
real.
Roadrunner running on the road. Doesn't look like
No.
a cartoon, but
Now, an interesting concept is I do want to go to like Alabama or Mississippi, and not for anything having to do other than I want to view like the public there. I just want
yeah,
to interact with the humans that are in my head that inhabit Alabama and Mississippi. I don't know anything about the terrain, or it doesn't matter to me. I just want to like exist around these people and just go like, you are all fascinating human
just the
beings.
swamp
So you guys,
people and
so
the
you guys are American too?
yeah,
Huh.
yeah. That's what I mean. Like that's part of it. It's like I can't believe
Yeah.
we're all the same people.
Yeah.
We're not obviously,
And,
but
and it helps that we're from New York because it is a very different like way of life. It's different speed of life. So while upstate New York and downstate New York are different in themselves, and by downstate I mean literally the city,
the
and then
city.
you sketch balls from Long Island. Um, but we're very different. But at the same time, New York compared to other states, especially in the South, is very very different. So I just want to see those people. But like, I'll probably
Um,
never get to Nebraska, Montana, Wyoming. Why? I
I
have, I
drove
have
through.
nothing.
Wait,
I
did
have
you ever
no.
drive through?
I have no business with you people. So neither
That's true.
Dakota. We have 2 of them to try to make them more interesting. Mm.
I could see like maybe North Dakota into that Wyoming area, wanting to visit that, just because there's probably nothing out there.
Which one has the Mount
Yeah,
Rushmore?
uh,
Which Dakota?
North Dakota, right?
That sounds like a question more than more than you answering my
What is
question.
North Dakota?
Thank you. That's better. But
Um, speaking of leagues, remember when you
oh
said
yeah,
poker leagues? Remember saying poker leagues 2 minutes ago?
yeah.
Got the old activation, the old reactivation of the fantasy football league today. Got
Yes,
that email. It's
folks.
always an exciting time of the year, even though I'm like, I go into it, I'm just like, whatever. And now I already made sure I get the day off from work. Labor Day, we do it every year. Someone may
Yep.
mess it up, but
Someone
I'm
will.
starting to get pumped for it. Even though like it's so weird because like for the last 7 years or so, no, not that long, maybe like 5, I haven't really been able to watch a lot of football on Sundays because of
Mm-hmm.
work schedule, stuff like that. A lot of times I work, um, so it kind of you know, took a little bit out of the fantasy experience for me.
Okay.
Except for when I got out of work, I can just check the score. It kind of like relieves some of the stress though too, and knowing that I can just check the scores later and not have to like live and die by every single
Mm-hmm.
play that happens, which can be brutal.
True. Very
Man, those
true.
red zone days I do miss.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, that's just the reality of it is I am very, very deep into the fantasy football realm. Many teams. And so, and with having a terrible team as my favorite team, the Raiders have been nothing but a disappointment. So with that in tune, why watch my team when I can just watch the red zone
I
for
know.
6 hours? But yeah, I was looking at things. This is going to be the 14th year of Pigskin Anarchy of the league. You are one of the original owners, so very good
Hmm.
on you. We've definitely seen some owners come and go, but you are
Yeah.
one of the originals.
Man, the old boys
Um,
club for sure.
yeah, and let's see. I see your championship years were 2014 and 2018, so someone's due. Haven't really been
What is
making
due?
a lot of headway.
I lost to you a couple years ago in the finals, and last 2 years I've been the regular season champ. So I'm got a
Oh,
nice little
that's
Peyton
cool.
Manning streak
Yeah,
going right now. Nice
yeah,
little, yeah.
very very cool. That's what people remember, and
Yeah, yeah.
especially in fantasy, people
Everybody
remember the
remembers
regular
regular
season
season
winners.
fantasy football
Mm-hmm.
championships.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, I'm getting pumped for it. I mean, I nothing like draft day. I mean, I know not everybody's into fantasy football, but it's functionally just a game. It's a math game, kind of, and it's an evaluation. You seeing what your pieces are, trying to figure out strategies, um, and you just use the results of people that do real things. So
Yeah. Well,
that's basically it, and I enjoy it. So
it is such a
um,
fun, interesting activity. Like I'm all like people say like, oh, I have too many teams. I'm like, I'd like to think that, but I'm like, I don't know. I enjoy it. And to be honest with you, it keeps me so like it did, very much on the brink with you and I, obviously starting it in 2010 when I was living in North Carolina. Um, all of my leagues are different groups of people, and that's a way that I can kind of stay in touch with them. I am in a league that joined last year, with a couple buddies locally, and and wives and stuff like that. So there's some people but I'm in a league with people from Rochester. I'm in a league with people from high school. I'm in a league with people from Syracuse. I'm in this league. So like I play in different leagues to keep in touch with different groups of people, and it's truly a guy's way of keeping in touch. And like we said earlier on the podcast, hey, you speak to Matt lately? I'm like, he pays his dues.
yeah,
We texted each other about a potential fantasy trade a little while back, but
yeah.
so yeah, he's doing good. He's okay.
How's Jeff doing? Oh, he won this week, so
Yeah,
probably pretty good. Yeah, probably
yeah, it
pretty
was a
good. I
comeback
think.
Monday Night Football night. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
kind of dialed back. I got in heavy in like all fantasy sports. I would say in like the late 2000s, early 2010s, I was in hockey. I did a baseball year, which is insane. And then I was in like
baseball is
five
very
football,
tough.
like every day kind of one. That was brutal. I had like five. I'm down to just our league now. It's just what I have
Wow.
the uh the energy capacity for because I hate so much multiple leagues when I was doing it. I mean, I would do too. If somebody had another one, I would do it, but I'm not going to start it. But I hated the balance of I need this guy to get 17 points and this guy to get 16 points so that this league will win. And those days are just so stressful and brutal. And it's like, I mean,
For the
ultimately
first
both teams, yeah, both your teams
for
could
the
win, but then when you're at the end of the day, when you're trying to like, you need like certain plays to happen, it's so stressful. Maybe that's what's fun
that
about it. I don't know.
yeah, that's what I like about it. It's like when you're talking the 1 o'clock games of like the first 5 weeks of football. Yeah, you're like, I can't even cheer for anything because I don't know what I need yet. But as the season goes on, by the time week 7 rolls around, you're like, okay, this team is trash. I don't need them to do anything. I
Yeah,
don't care. I have no investment in them. So like that's what it is teams fall off, or during the day you know what to root for because you want to retain the win or get the win on certain games, and some might be out of reach one way or the other. So
mm,
but yeah, I get that. And but I have a lot of family members and stuff that say they play in free leagues. And some people do that to just stay in touch with family, and I'm like, I think that's an awesome concept of families playing together just for bragging rights for family. Like that's the only situation where I would do bragging rights, if people wanted to play for like family, just because again, it's something to talk about amongst your family and to keep in touch.
Yeah.
It's a very easy way to keep in touch.
It's a great way to stay friendly. You guys are colluding. You guys are colluding. You can't.
Oh,
You can't.
yeah.
That's it. That's it. You guys can't be the league. One of you has to be out of the league next year, or you got to be on the same team. You can't do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah, I'm excited as the summer goes, which seems like way too fast. The summer's moving. Football's around to make you not as bummed about the winter coming.
That's correct. That's what football's for.
Mm-hmm. Plus gambling. Love me some gambling on my phone now. It's remarkable. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do now. Not a lot of money. I mean, listen, not a lot, but on a Sunday, I'll put anywhere from $30 to $50 across several different bets.
Mm-hmm.
And hope to break even.
My problem is I love parlays. I never
Yeah, oh,
straight
yeah.
bet anything.
Love
I
it.
don't straight bet anything.
So
I'm like,
dumb.
give me those
So dumb.
odds. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna
I'll never
pick,
place it.
I'm gonna pick 4 winners and parlay those together so that if I bet $10 and I get all
Yeah.
of these games right, because it's only 4 yes or no's, like, right? It's I'm
Mhm.
just betting the line or something on 4 games, then I'll win like $60. So it's worth my time now.
Yeah.
And it never works.
I'll just take these 4 heavy favorites, and they all just have to win, and they will. And first one's done right away. Never.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yep.
It's amazing
So,
how
and
casinos figure that out.
yeah, it's weird.
All
It's almost like they know what they're doing and I don't.
Let's check in on our 3 words. That'll give us something to talk about.
Yeah, they are interesting 3 words.
Our words from episode 24. Update, veteran, and composer. Update.
Is update the worst freaking word that we could get for a podcast?
It made me
about
think of
catching up?
computers.
Oh, okay. And what did you
That's the only
think
thing I can
about
think of.
regarding computers?
I didn't talk about it early enough in this, so listen, you got to hear this. Well, I've been needing a new computer, we know, because mine's broken down on this podcast twice, let alone trying to game. And I know we're going to try to game. I really want to get back into streaming again. The 2 times I did it, I really liked it. But this rig, this old girl, just don't have it anymore. So I started shopping around. I was waiting for Prime days. And none of the builds, not to get too nerdy about it, but none of them had the right kind of build. Then I got discount from Wegmans. Thank you, Wegmans. I'll give them credit on this one. We get corporate discounts from other companies. So like I was going through Hewlett Packard for a new PC, and what started out as trying to get something sensible turned into a $1,700 computer.
There we go. Let's go.
But I did get $800 off. It should have been a $2,500, but it's going to last me for so long, you guys. It's going to be great. It's going to jack this pot up. It's going to jack it right up.
How long has your current computer lasted you?
A little over 3 years. And I will say I didn't know as much about it when I bought it. It was kind of like an Amazon purchase, kind of a, pre-built. But I didn't really know about all the components. And now I know more about them. And I got stuff that I think is just better. And it won't overheat or things won't freak out or blue screens of death, all that. So I'm very excited about it. And
Did
it's
you
quality, I
build
know,
it?
because I chose
Were
all the
you able to-
components. They're building it at the factory.
Right.
That's why it's going to take.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
is literally something where you choose the components, though.
Yeah. So they can't. That's why I'm not going to get it till it takes like 3 weeks to get it. I mean, you can buy like builds that are already complete and they ship faster, but I'm very excited. And it's a very. I love dropping $700 on something. I didn't like that, but I was like, it's like one of those. I mean, we talked about it on the last episode. Is like, how much am I going to spend? So I was in like the $1,100 range, something that I think would have been fine. But I was like, am I just buying something that I'm going to need to replace again in 3 years, or it's not going to be synchronized well enough where I can replace parts? Because that's the problem with this one. Let's be a grown up here. Let's spend my money that I earn and I work for, and get something good. And I know you had talked about that with cars before, how you like take your time, or you like anybody can do that. You like go through it. I honestly, once I decided, I took 4 days to keep rebuilding computers. It was like nonstop. While you were away in Denver, I was just on websites tinkering with different parts and replacing different things and watching YouTube reviews of stuff and all that shit that you do. When you want something, you're going to spend a lot of money.
The last tower desktop I ever had was what I got for college. And my building option I chose was I decided to take the DVD drive instead of the CDR. That was the
Oh, hell
last
yeah,
decision
dude.
I made on a build.
Dude.
So fun fact, the first 3 DVDs I bought. I'm trying to think. The
Wait,
first,
ever?
yes, no, wait, yes, I bought 3 DVDs at the same time because we didn't have a DVD player at home. My DVD player was literally the DVD-ROM in my computer.
I could just
So
sit
the
at my
first,
computer and watch DVDs for hours.
I went to Walmart in Auburn, and
Can I guess?
I don't know if I made do with what you can guess, but you are not gonna get. You could
Really?
get
What
maybe
year was
one
it?
of
Like,
these
gotta be a
movies.
2000, 2001.
So it was 2001.
American Pie 2.
Two of those no, two of the movies would have been current. One was already a classic, not a classic, but a class. I mean, not
Gone in
current.
60 Seconds.
Yes. Holy crap. That was literally one of them. What?
What does high score mean? New high score, is that bad?
Let's go. Let's go. I'm just trying to think of
Yes,
like random movies
the
that
Nick-
like, you know.
The Nicolas Cage remake of Gone in 60 Seconds was absolutely one of them.
Holy
Okay,
shit.
that was the one that I'm like, that's the one you might get.
Oh, okay.
The other one.
But the other two are more current. Fast and
No.
Furious.
More current? No.
Or I mean, was it like 2000? Because that was like 98. Where the other one's like 2000,
No, that was
2001.
like 2000.
Oh, okay.
Gone 6 Seconds was
sure.
2000, maybe even 2001. The other one was a martial arts movie ish. You
Mortal
won't
Kombat?
get this.
All right.
All right. It's Jackie Chan.
Rumble in the Bronx.
But no, I was just gonna say, but don't worry, it wasn't Rumble in the Bronx.
Super Cop.
No, a certain movie where he is a
Rush
TV
Hour?
chef.
Oh.
He is a TV chef. It was Mr. Nice
With
Guy.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Is she in it? I can't remember.
I don't
Mr.
remember.
Nice Guy. There's
Dude,
like a
you
video
have
of
that?
him like taking 2 fish and like hitting people. Like, dude. So that was one, and then the other one was Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Why I bought? I felt the need.
Yeah, you love that movie. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. So those were the first 3 DVDs that I bought with my brand new DVD-ROM. So I was ready to go to college and just make all of the friends.
Dude, everything I know about cars is from Gone in 60 Seconds. I don't know
100%.
shit about cars.
Yeah, I still don't know anything.
I
About
love when I
cars, but
see-
Shelby GT 500. Oh, you mean
Yeah.
Eleanor?
Yeah, that's what whenever I see one of those, that's the only car I'm like, what is it, a Shelby? Is that like one of those Shelbys? Yeah, I just I know a lot about cars, but yeah.
Yeah. So
Dude.
that's I'll play off of your update. Veteran, and what was the other one?
Composer.
Composer. Hard to have a chat.
Did
about
you ever?
composers.
Well, we know we both played band in high school. Did you ever play any other or consider playing any other instrument after high school or dabble in any kind of music?
I do have a bass guitar.
I thought that was a thing. Yeah.
I picked that up in 2012, I believe. I picked up secondhand at a shop on Grand Island, out in Western New York, and it was a left-handed bass, naturally, and so
Oh yeah.
I just I didn't take lessons. I had no aspiration to take lessons at that time, but I'm like, you know what? I'm like, the world, I know tabs exist and I can read tabs. So but I also didn't have any like methodology to that. I just kind of farted around with things I thought were cool. So I didn't know what notes I was playing, but I would jot down like my own tablatures. And then I would download tabs of like not even different songs to necessarily learn the entire song, but like sweet riffs that I knew. I would just look up those tabs. So I don't really know what my goal was. But again, naturally something I wish I stuck with. And then one of my strings broke and I didn't know what to do. And my anxiety kept me from going to a music store to ask for help to restring my bass, because I thought that they would think I'm an idiot, like being a 30-year-old coming in and being like, can you help fix this? I couldn't do it. And that was the reason I couldn't do it. That's the reason I still sitting in my basement. And I'm terrified because I feel like an idiot going into a music store and being like, "Hello,
Does
I
this
have no
still have the
idea, but
same broken string?
can yeah? Well, I mean, it's got 3 strings on it currently. Um,
Would you
and so
or well, what about ordering a new set of strings and then looking up a YouTube video about how to restring it?
no, that's not gonna work. Okay, I no. What I need to do is grow up and just bring it to a music store and be like,
Bring it
"Can you
in, yeah.
help me? Yeah, I need you to help me."
Yeah.
Because that's more important is to overcome that part of the anxiety and just be like, listen, like people know about music and people don't know about music. So if the music's like half time when I'm afraid of it, like the music store people are like, yeah, man, that's great. No problem. Oh, well, you just picked this up and they're really excited for you. And you're like, I thought
Yeah.
you were going to point at me, call me an idiot poser and then kick me out of the store. So, but yeah, man, I was really happy because like one of the best riffs that I learned from Tabs was, it was
Oh.
Have You Ever by The Offspring. The breakdown mid song is so rad on bass.
That's right.
It's
Bum, 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 bum,
yeah,
bum.
it's like,
Wait, what is
well,
it?
if
No.
you go away, never come a day that don't not work.
Bum, bum,
The
bum,
thing
bum,
about
bum,
the
bum,
world is
bum,
that
bum,
crime does
bum,
pay. That's
bum,
just,
bum.
yeah, it's
Yeah. Great breakdown. We just did it justice.
and I kept like playing that. I'm like, that's so fun to play. Dude,
Yeah, love me some
Offspring,
Offspring.
talk what a show. Like, man, I saw them in 2019. It's the only time I saw them, and it was
Really?
everything I wanted it to be. They played so many songs that I loved, and I'm like, you know what? Dexter still can bring it on stage. He's even lost some weight because I know he was having issues with that. But like I mean, Noodles is damn near 60, if not
Yeah.
60. And like they still bring a lot of fun to the stage. And I'm like, man, I love this band. Like, I remember literally picking up Ixnay on the Ombre and being so pumped to go back in my room, slap it in my CD player, and just listen to that thing and play like Genesis. Like, I loved that album. And then Americana was awesome too. They've put out great albums. Yeah, I
Dude,
can't say
yeah.
enough about The Offspring.
Well, Smash like had been out when I had discovered, well, when both, I mean, all of us discovered it.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, Ixnay with the follow up was so big because we had all loved Smash so much, that album, that we were all ready for it. I remember getting it at the Carousel Mall, listening to it in the CD player on the way home. It was in my lawn mowing CD Walkman fanny pack for a long time, just front to back. I love that. They're
Oh,
on my
so
bucket list
good.
for sure. Still haven't seen them live. I would still see them. I mean, obviously, like that's like they're one of the sounds that I hear and it takes me back in a good way without it being too nostalgic, but because I think maybe it's like one of those where I've listened to it enough over different every few years where it still stays relevant. It's not just stapled to like 1996 or something like that. But yeah, good. I mean, I haven't really kept up if they've made any newer stuff. I should revisit.
The last really good album they made was probably 2010. Was a really I like the album a lot. It's called Rise and Fall Rage and Grace. Um, that's a really good one. That was their last like thing with like good radio hits. Like Hammerhead was on that one. You'd recognize that, but yeah, I mean, if a band can put out 4 fantastic albums that I would be willing to listen to front to back, I mean, I don't care. Put out trash too. That's okay. Like, you know what? Like, bands earn the right to put out crap that I don't like. Or I guess I should say 2 different things.
Yeah.
Either crap or just stuff I don't like.
2 for them,
yeah,
1
that's
for
fine.
us.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. Yeah, even that's a fine ratio. You can put out 3 albums. I will call myself a fan.
Even like, so I was, well, I went for a run this week. Familiar with this running? So the last few times I've tried, well, I tried earnestly again during COVID times, but I either tore or really strained my left calf muscle. Because I think I overstretched it before I ran, and then I ran on it, and then it hurt, and then I didn't stop running. And I was like, I'll just finish, the run. And it hurt for months, like a long time.
In like the middle of the calf?
The interior back left calf. kind of the back.
Like up near the knee,
No,
or
it's
just
kind of
in the.
well, yeah, in the middle. I see what you're saying. Yeah, in the middle of the calf, but in kind of like the interior, like more
Okay,
closer to my right leg, that side. Just like hurt for forever. It felt like almost a year
interesting.
because it really hurt for like a few months. That's fine because it was cold, so I would just walk. And then after that, then I tried a few times to get back going again, and I could still feel it. And now it's been long enough where I get to. There's no pain there anymore.
That's good.
But also, I've been stretching more just because I have to because my body hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But it
Mm-hmm.
helps. Now I'm approaching it more slowly, which I don't know if that's what you experience. So I went for a walk down to Hoops Park, and then I start, just start with like small laps. And each time I go, I do more laps, so I'm not like trying to go too much too soon. Which is probably the old guy way to do it. A little bit at a time.
Well, definitely
Um,
when you want to start trying to run is the dead heat of summer. That's always a good idea.
yeah, right.
Leaves you more out, because the faster you dehydrate, the less there is
Yeah,
of you to injure. So therefore, you want to do it
yeah. I
in
try not to
the
drink
in
too
the
much
dead
water
heat.
before I go because I don't want to sweat. I don't want to get sweat in my eyes or anything
Right,
like that.
right,
I don't
right.
want to have to pee while I'm running,
Exactly.
anything like that.
I like to develop a nice cold,
Um,
clammy
but
skin.
but as I was doing it, I was listening to a friend at work recommended a band called Gaslight Anthem, which I thought I had heard of. But really, it's a
Did
long
you
way of me
just say
saying,
you thought you had heard of? What does that comment
yeah,
even mean?
I was like, I think I had heard of them. I think I probably heard some of their songs, but I don't know. Like it's one of those where I think I heard of them, but I don't know. And then I definitely had heard one of their songs, but really I just listened to it when I was running slash walking.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a weird feeling to like listen to something because like especially working out or even walking running sometimes I want to just listen to something familiar and it's even hard to like get myself out of a comfort zone of like listening whether it's a podcast of people I know or it's
Okay.
music I already know or familiar artists like kind of forcing myself to listen to something new. It was kind of fun even though it was
Did
almost too uncomfortable, almost embarrassingly uncomfortable in a way to consider that I was like almost wanting to switch. Like I was wanting to switch to something I knew, but I'm glad I made it through. I sound like kind of a little bitch
was it
saying I
was it
could. It was really hard to listen to music, but
was it the 59 sound? Was that the album he recommended?
um,
That's
I was listening
usually.
to the Spotify. It was a she. I have
Oh,
friends who
okay.
are girls. Look at me, modern man, but no
Um,
girlfriends. Um,
but that's
that's
the big one that got recommended to me, and that's certainly seems to be the most popular, the 59 sound.
yeah, it's a song called 45, which I don't know. It could have been on like an NHL game or Madden or one of those sports games
They're an
that I had
interesting
heard before.
band. I don't know how to place their sound.
Yeah, she was trying to say it. I mean, I thought it was like a little bit, almost had like a thrice vibe, sort of like a mild punkishness to it, but more like melodic, anthemic, almost like punk mixed with Kings of Leon, which she hated me saying.
Yeah. I actually
Kings
saw
of
them in
Leon. I was like, I
Pittsburgh.
kind of like Kings of
Them
Leon.
them and um Against Me. It was a really good show. It was a very good show
Hmm.
in downtown Pittsburgh. Yeah, I did Gaslight Anthem. I don't actively listen to them, but I did have a couple friends that pushed them on me about 10 years ago. Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
But I think it goes hand in hand with the idea of like walking a different way or going home a different way and just doing something different, trying something new and being uncomfortable, like doing an activity with something and you don't know. It's like just listening because that's what we did when we were kids, right? It's so insane because all we did when we were kids was always listen to full albums front to back. Even if we didn't like the songs, we'd listen to the whole thing usually and multiple times. And we'd buy a new album just based on one song, listen to the whole thing. We're so used to it. And now we just live in a world where just have playlists and singles. And I have 40 years of music that I already know and like. And doing new stuff is hard,
yeah, it
but
is.
it was worth it.
Good, good. That's good. I mean, Turnstile, you
I don't know
did
if you
that.
know.
That was the last time I got put
That's
out of
true.
my comfort zone. So
Yeah. Um, I don't know if you know this. We got a comment. So for the for words for
I
next
didn't know
week
that. Mhm.
on
We have
YouTube,
suggestions.
a our listener of the week, Sarah Ross.
Okay,
Do you know Sarah Ross?
I do know Sarah Ross.
Okay. I figured we don't have any strangers listening to the pod at this point yet. But she commented on episode 23. Hey guys, really just listened to you, but had to come to say that I enjoy the pod a ton. Also, if you get bored of the AI generated 3 words, board slash is not working. She said maybe the hashtag StrangeFam can give you words. LOL, keep up the good work, which I think is a great idea.
It's a super idea.
So I said, that's a serendipitous idea. Give us 3 words. Thanks. She said, oh man, I didn't think this through. Can't promise they are good words because now I'm totally blanking, but let's see. So she gave us 3 words. She said, schedule, camping, and team. So we actually sort of already talked about camping. That's serendipitous, probably on episode 24. But yeah, we'll go with it. I already know a different camping story. Schedule, camping, and team. We'll go with it, Sarah. Yeah. Anybody else? Message us 3 words. That can be our thing now. Just message us random 3 words.
Yeah. Or if you can't think of 3, throw 1 or 2. If you're like, no, I want the random aspect.
Start with 1.
Yeah. Send us anywhere from 1 to 3 words. Guys, we already have enough of 0, so stop sending us 0 words. Send us now something between 1 and 3.
God, imagine we blow up so much that people send us 3 words, like a couple people send us 3 words a week.
Wow.
Imagine the success that we're going to feel, the accomplishment.
I wonder if there's like, do you think we maybe have a following somewhere in the world and we just don't realize it? Like someone that they don't speak English, but they're just like really intrigued by our voices and tones that they hear. Or maybe like how rad would it be is you always see this on TV or you find out about these stories. I want to meet someone and they're like, you know what? I moved to this country and didn't speak a word of English. And the only way I learned English was listening to your podcast. I'd be like, that's fucking terrible. Like, I am so sorry. You must talk like a complete idiot. Like, but that'd be really rewarding for me. It'd be terrible for them, but be really rewarding for me.
Yeah, a lot of what does it mean to water the dog? Mm-hmm. What is that?
Yeah, they're like, oh, in America, you pee in bottles while kayaking places. Oh, okay. That's an interesting. Okay, I didn't realize that. And you should, to break the ice and catch up with a friend, you should just constantly talk about bowel movements. So I'm glad we're really teaching people and leading into the proper cultural aspects.
I did try ketchup in my coffee.
Like,
American delight.
Yeah, it's an American delicacy. Yeah. Back in the motherland, I told everyone about how you guys love coffee and ketchup.
Yeah.
Are we at 35 minutes yet? 35, 40 minutes?
Yeah, we're just there. We're just wrapping
right there,
up into
right?
it.
About there.
Yep. So now we'll say, well, we'll wait till I get my new PC in the first week of August, and then we'll we'll
True,
do our
for
game
the streaming.
sesh. Yeah.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. Hope you guys liked our 90s list. I just listened to it. I mean, here's a little behind the curtains again. We're recording this before episode 25 even comes out. But I think our picks hold up. I'd be curious to know feedback on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What people think as like
or tell us who had the better team drafted.
Who's got the better team, yeah.
Yeah, who's got the better team? Better 7-player team. Yeah. What sports involve 7 players? None.
Intramural soccer.
5th quarter soccer. That's more of the
40-year-old and over.
That's
or
more of the sixth
soccer.
Quarter kids.
Yeah.
Son of a bee sting. I don't miss it. Yeah. So let us know who drafted better, and then we'll figure out a punishment for the loser.
Yeah, you'll have to put that. We can put that on the Facebook. We can break down the teams.
Okay.
Let people decide.
Yeah. Might have to. I'll put it on the StrangeFam Facebook. I'll post it on it and see if I can get some results from that.
All right.
Rock and roll. Oh,
I was really excited.
All right. I thought we were. Yeah. No. That's really appropriate.
All right. Well, hey, here's to the next 25, huh? Quarter life crisis. Pod done.
Ridiculous.
This is 26. I already forgot how old I am. That's about right.
Good job.
And on a screen.